For years, Diddy painted the picture of the perfect success story. He built Bad Boy Records into a hit machine, discovered the notorious B.I.G., created fashion brands, vodka deals, and endless TV projects. He dated celebrities, danced on yachts, and flaunted his riches. Forbes even crowned him hip-hop's first billionaire. But behind the shades and champagne, there was another story brewing. One nobody wanted to touch. Because Diddy wasn't just rich, he was powerful. He could make or break your entire career with a phone call. That's exactly what his former personal assistant, Phil Pines, learned the hard way. Phil thought he'd landed the dream job, front row access to music royalty. But what he walked into was a nightmare wrapped in Versace. At first, everything looked legit. Phil was flown around the world. He was part of massive celebrity parties, like Diddy's $2 million 50th birthday bash. He rubbed shoulders with legends. He lived like a star. But soon, the job turned dark. Phil wasn't just organizing Diddy's travel. He was also carrying his Diddy pack, a custom satchel full of drugs. Weed, mushrooms, pills, everything. He was responsible for having it ready at all times. Airport, hotel, doesn't matter. The drugs had to be on hand. No questions asked, and it didn't stop there. Phil says he was often forced to prep hotel rooms for something Diddy called Wild King Nights. Let that name sit for a second. What is a Wild King Night? Phil says it involved setting the mood for Diddy's private parties. That meant candles, liquor, condoms, baby oil, and lube. Lots of it. The rooms would be trashed by the end of the night. And Phil, he had to clean up every drop, every stain, every broken bottle, with gloves, with a mask, because according to him, what he saw and smelled was next-level disgusting. But the worst part? Diddy allegedly forced him to delete footage from his own devices. iPhones, iPads, videos showing what really went down during those nights. We're talking about evidence. Gone. That wasn't a personal assistant job. That was a cleanup crew for crimes. And still, it gets darker. The breaking point came when Phil says Diddy put him through the ultimate loyalty test. It wasn't just emotional manipulation, it was physical. Phil claims that during one Wild King night, Diddy grabbed a condom, put his hands on Phil's shoulders, and pushed him toward a woman, expecting him to perform a sexual act. Right there, on command. Phil says he froze, asked the woman if she was okay with it. She nodded. So he did it, for a few seconds. Just enough to get Diddy off his back. Then he ran, pulled up his pants, escaped the room. But the damage was done. He felt violated, powerless, and worst of all, complicit. He knew then, this wasn't just a toxic boss. This was something far more sinister. Phil also witnessed multiple incidents of violence. One in particular haunts him. At Diddy's mansion on Star Island in Miami, Phil watched Diddy get into a fight with a female guest. The woman was topless. The argument got heated. Diddy kicked her, twice. And when Phil looked into his eyes, he didn't see a man. He saw something else. His eyes were just black, Phil said. It scared me. If that sounds like horror movie talk, it is. But this was real life. And it wasn't the only act of violence people have come forward about. If you've followed Diddy's story recently, you know about the Cassie Ventura lawsuit. Cassie, who dated Diddy for years, accused him of years of abuse, control, and assault. Diddy denied everything, but then a hotel video surfaced. It showed Diddy attacking Cassie in a hallway, throwing her to the ground, kicking her, grabbing her. It was caught on CCTV and leaked to CNN. Suddenly, the world saw what Phil and others had been saying all along. And that video? Just the tip of the iceberg. Another voice speaking up is Sarah Rivers, a former star from Diddy's MTV show, Making the Band. Like Phil, she once saw Diddy as a god, a legend, a dream maker. But one day on set, while walking down a hallway alone, Sarah says Diddy cornered her. He rubbed his hand down her chest and whispered, "If you need anything at all, you let me know." She ran. She told no one. Who would believe her? Soon after, she says she was blacklisted. Her music career, gone, destroyed. Just like that. And she's still living with the trauma. 20 years later. Diddy's not facing one lawsuit. He's facing dozens. According to attorney Andrew Van Arsdale, over 15,000 people have called a hotline set up to gather abuse claims. 37 lawsuits have already been filed. Some of these alleged victims were minors when the abuse happened. Let that sink in. This wasn't one or two isolated incidents. This is a pattern, a decades-long trail of trauma. And the people who stayed silent out of fear? They're finally speaking up. Because if someone like Diddy could be brought down, then maybe no abuser is too powerful to face justice. From 2019 to 2021, Phil Pines worked side by side with Diddy. He was more than an assistant, he was a witness. And now, he's done hiding. Phil says the experience led him into a deep depression. But telling his story? It's helping him heal. "This is like a therapy session for me," he said. "There's power in truth." He's sharing it not for revenge, but to protect others. He wants Diddy held accountable. He wants survivors to know they're not alone. And most of all, he wants this to stop. Because no amount of fame, money, or power should shield a predator. For years, the world saw Sean Diddy Combs as a mogul, a music legend, a business genius. But behind the closed doors, he was something else entirely. The parties, the power trips, the violence, the manipulation. It was all hidden under a billion-dollar smile. Until now, with every leaked video, every brave voice coming forward, the truth is unraveling. And if the courts do their job, Diddy won't be dancing on yachts anymore. He'll be answering to the law. No matter how rich you are, no matter how many hits you've made, you don't get to destroy lives and walk away. The world is watching now. And the mask has finally come off. If you made it this far, you're the real one. Drop a comment below. Do you think Diddy will actually face prison time? Or will his fame protect him again? And if you want more stories like this, real, raw, unfiltered, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Because the truth doesn't stay buried forever. Not anymore. This is Elizabeth Mill from World Tea News. Stay tuned for more of the most trusted and hottest tea in the world.